Hi everyone, welcome to the Mind, Money and Body podcast. This is Vikram recording this podcast for you from Kuwait, a beautiful country in the Gulf. As you know, this podcast talks about holistic success that covers your financial, mental and physical well-being. So today we have a very special guest with us, Soulaima Gourani, the founder of Women Reignite. Soulaima is based out of California and works with people from more than 35 countries. She has won several awards, including the Young Global Leader from the World Economic Forum, and is also a contributor at Forbes Leadership Channel. She has worked for clients such as Samsung, DuPont, Lego, McKinsey, DELL, Microsoft, Harvard Kennedy University, Adecco, and a lot of other eminent companies across the world. Soulaima, a warm welcome to the podcast. It is such an honor to have you on our show.
Thank you for inviting me. And I just love the fact that you are focusing on success, but also what is a successful life? What does it mean? Because things have changed really over the years. Success today is very different than it looked for my people. And they can't go out and meet their friends, and they can't go and apply for a job, and they don't have access to therapy so we have decided to build Women Reignite. It is an online platform where you can go and get access to the best tools in the world to work with your health and your wealth and prepare you for the future of work.
All right, great. So you are so successful, and I'm sure that you are, of course, going to make a difference in millions of lives going forward. And if I ask you as an individual, what is your success mantra, and any secrets you would like to share with other people that makes you so successful in such a short period of time?
Is it really a short period of time? I don't know about that. I'm turning 45 this year, and I really started working when I was, 15, 16. And I've always been a really hard worker. I don't think I have like any special competences in terms of, I didn't do really well in school. I wasn't amazing, but I've always been very driven, and I had a lot of courage. I didn't mind speaking up. I didn't mind, standing up, fighting for other people's rights. I've always been very driven by dignity, and I've always been a strong representative for the underdogs. You have to understand that I'm Moroccan. I was born in Morocco, but I'm an immigrant, and I grew up in Denmark, and I was one of maybe the only Arab at that time. At least where I lived, there was no other Arab kids, and my dad was, he was very different. He was brown. He didn't speak the language really well. Our kitchen was very different. The food that we were eating, the way our clothing was smelling, we were just very different. And, I was bullied and beaten up, and I was just hitting back. And it was a very traumatic upbringing. I felt very lonely. I felt like the only one. And it was very difficult for me to grow up in a nation where everyone seems to be white, and to be successful, you had to be Danish, you had to be white. So I really felt extremely lonely, and almost to a point where I felt depressed until I was 16, 17 years old. I had one teacher that told me that I had the opportunity to take this very far, but I had to make a decision. And I decided that no matter what I thought would be difficult, I was going to do what I was supposed to do. And I knew that I had a strong passion for helping other people. I just didn't know how. So for many, many years, I was trying to do what I would say having a normal career. I applied for hundreds of jobs, but my name, Soulaima Gourani, is really not Danish. So even at the applications, it wasn't easy for me to get a job. And for years, I was just struggling, really. I was cleaning in, toilets at night. I was working at, bars in the night to make a living. I was trying my best to do well in school, but I didn't have any help. Like, I didn't have any parents who could help me go through school. I didn't inherit any money. I really didn't have anything else but my ability to work really hard and postpone my personal needs. So I think I struggled a lot. And I feel, when I look back at my life, my first 30 years was just one big, dark period. I don't I don't think I felt like a success, but I did get rewarded from my mid-20s, and people start recognizing what I was doing. But I didn't feel like I was a success. I really didn't. Even today, I mean, this year in 2020, I just received like a super prestigious prize, being recognized as one of the 30 in the world, men and women, among the 30 most exciting people to follow and learn from. And I feel excited and I'm very grateful. But honestly, still to this very day, I wake up every single morning. I did it this morning. I kissed my husband on his forehead and I'm like, I have to work really hard today. I have to stay focused. We're doing the right things. It's going to be hard, but we can do this. Every single day I say this still. So I don't success. I would say I'm hardworking and very dedicated. All those things, we didn't have those books. I mean, not that I remember. So make sure that you somehow listen to this podcast or other podcasts or books or ebooks or whatever to stay inspired, because that's going to drive you when things get really, really hard. People need stories that we can reflect ourselves in, and that will give you hope, because what you really need to become successful is trusting yourself, supporting yourself, and hope. And then you must be willing to work every single day, the rest of your life. Never relax, just keep moving. And when things get really tough and you start doubting yourself, you need someone in your life telling you, keep moving, keep doing, you're on the right path. But it's very easy to give up if you have no roadmap, if you have no path. So you have to sit down and really describe in details how and what you want to achieve in life and how you're going to do it. Just like you write a business plan, I guess you have to write a business plan for your own life. Really, it is super important, because if you just take the day as it comes, things will happen, but things might also not happen. You need to know what to look out for. And even if you're very poor and have no money, you can still every day impact and program your brain to be positive and strong. For that, you do not need any money. There's so much to be thankful for, really. Every morning you wake up, you take a breath. That's the first thing to be grateful for, right? You might live in a house you don't really love. It might be too tiny. It might not be where you want it to be. Be thankful. Because the moment where you start being unthankful and negative and angry and you might start being envy other people, or you might being jealous or whatever. Those are negative emotions that are not going to foster any kind of creativity. Actually, it will just turn you into a worse human being. So start with yourself, your brain and your body. That is what you need to be successful to begin with.
Amazing. A lot of key takeaways from this. Thank you. That's great. So any closing messages for the audiences? You are going to launch any new initiatives, how people can become part of your initiatives, how they can contribute, how they can learn from you? Any remarks on that, please?
So, I would say Reignite Your Career is a book that is very affordable. It's online, Reignite Your Career. It's an ebook I wrote a few years ago, and it's downloaded in more than 350,000 copies. And I guess everyone could afford a copy of that one. And that gives you actually a very quick and dirty recipe of what you should do first to reignite your career. And it's a book written for graduates. And even if you're not a graduate, I think there's a lot of tips and tricks how to get started building a network, how to start working on your personal brand. Those basic things that you really need to start doing, you can find that in that book, Reignite Your Career.
Sure. It's available on Amazon, Kindle?
It's available on the internet, yes. It's a publishing company called Book Boon. So just Google Reignite Your Career by Soulaima and you will find it.
Sure. So I will put a link in the description of this podcast and all our platforms for sure. All right. Thank you so much, Soulaima. It was such an honor to have you, and I really look forward to hosting you again and learn more from you. And of course, I'm pretty sure that you are going to make a lot of difference in millions of lives. And thank you so much again and again. And we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you, Vikram.
Pleasure.